everybody. Welcome to the Backbone Podcast, where common sense still makes sense in a world that is sick and only getting sicker, and it's just getting sicker it seems it's getting sicker by the minute now. Today, if you haven't heard the news, about an hour ago at a Utah Valley University rally, Charlie Kirk, conservative talk show host, what's that called? Something USA. I don't remember what this guy is from. Was shot today. We have the video here. It does not look good. I don't see how this boy survives this. If you see the shot, it's right in the neck and the throat. It looks like they hit a major artery. This video might get taken down if I show this video, but you know what? Let's take the chance. It's disturbing, very, very disturbing. But here it is.
Counting gang violence. Great.
We'll leave it at that. I don't see how he survives that. Have you had enough yet? Is it evident now that it's not people who love God and Jesus that are the enemy? It's not conservative people that are shooting up schools or churches. Have you had enough yet? As white men, have we had enough? Now, the suspect has been caught. His identity has not been. I saw a video. It's an old white guy, and the irony of this whole thing would be if the guy who shot him was Jewish, because Charlie Kirk is such an Israeli cuck, and I shouldn't be saying that now. We should be praying for him, but he's such a strong advocate for Israel that it would be TPUSA is the name of the company that he works for. He is such an Israeli fanboy that I think it would just be unbelievably ironic. It would be God's way of saying, you see, bro, you were wrong. Now, Charlie Kirk, if you don't know who he is, I always call him Cuck, but I'm trying to be nice. It's a powerful right-wing activist. He is a Trump ally, and he's an executive director of Turning Point USA. And the video shows Kirk struck while speaking, sitting beneath a tent at the University of Utah Valley in their courtyard. Kirk was there as part of a, quote, the America Comeback Tour. Again, these cheesy bullshit things. I mean, these guys try to use words when the other side are using violence. And you can only fight violence with violence, which is hosted by the Turning Point USA chapter in Utah Valley. The footage that you saw here was an up-close shot of it. Pardon the pun. But you could see students were running around in all directions. You know, as a guy who has 2 kids in college, this is scary as shit. That you have maniacs out there with all these that are mentally ill and they have guns. And Democrats, liberals, and progressives don't like guns, but they're the ones with all the guns. Campus police issued a statement, and I quote, "Today at 12:10 p.m., a shot was fired at the visiting speaker, Charlie Kirk. He was hit and taken from the location by his security. Campus police are investigating, and the suspect is in custody." The school added that the campus will be closed and that classes are canceled until further notice. The university also added that police are investigating and they are telling everyone to leave. They're telling all students and staff to leave the campus immediately. A spokesman for the Utah Valley University told news outlets that Kirk was struck by a suspect who had fired from a building about 200 yards away, and that the suspect was not a student. I'm going to look for a picture of him. It looks like he's an older guy. Turning Point USA press team confirmed to Fox News that Kirk had been shot, but his condition was unknown. Utah Governor Spencer Cox posted on X that he would continue to share updates and that, quote, those responsible will be held fully accountable. Oh, great job, Cox. Wonderful. I mean, these guys they're just so lame. They're so afraid to just let let it out, dude. Let's just fucking be honest for once. It's amazing to me. It's amazing how cowardly white men have become. Cox continued to go on to say, violence has no place in our public life. No shit. That's my quote. Americans of every political persuasion must unite. There's that weak word. There's that weak word. They must unite in condemning this act. Our prayers are with Charlie, his family, and those affected. There was nobody else affected but Charlie. But there's the weak word. There's the weak trigger word by these milquetoast, terrified, cowardly white people, white men specifically. And this guy's probably either a Mormon or an evangelical or whatever it is. Because when you say we must unite, what you're basically saying is we're not going to do anything about this. We're not going to do anything about that poor Ukrainian girl that got killed because she didn't see color. We're not going to do anything about this because liberal progressive Democrats are insane. We're just going to sit back and take another shot. As long as it's not my kid, I don't care. And that's a major factor that has been evident over the last 10 years is that white people don't care about other white people. White lives don't matter to white people. Because when the outrage, whether if that girl was black or Hispanic, would have been through the or gay or transgender, would have been through the fucking roof. There would be riots in the street today. But white people just don't care because white lives don't matter. And it's got to change. It's just got to change. Sooner or later, something's got to trigger something. I mean, how long are we going to live like this? I mean, how many times are we going to see people who look like us getting beaten in the street, shot at rallies, stabbed through in the neck while taking the public transportation, and just sit there and say, oh, poor girl. We got to pray for her. We have to unite. That's what we'll do. We'll unite. This other lummox here, Mike Lee, the Utah senator, posted on X shortly after the reports broke that Kirk had been shot to say he is, and I quote, tracking the situation at Utah Valley University closely. Please join me in praying for Charlie and the students gathered there, end quote. Ashley Moody, a Florida senator, also posted on X saying, and I quote, office is monitoring the situation at the Utah Valley University. I pray for Charlie, the students, and this nation. But prayer doesn't do anything, baby. Okay, it's action. If the Catholics, this is the difference between old school Catholics, the old Catholics of like 1,000 years ago, and these milquetoast Diet Coke Christians today. If the Catholics back then prayed that the Muslims wouldn't invade Europe and take and rape and pillage everything, then the Muslims would have had an easy time just walking through Europe, and we wouldn't exist today. If you're a European or European descent like I am, you wouldn't exist today. No, what those Catholics did? They picked up swords and shields, and they marched and they kicked ass. We don't do that now. And it's because we have an Anglo-American, weak, Diet Coke Christian mentality of uniting, praying, condolences. We have to do something about this, all this bullshit. And I'm over. I've been over it for many years. But these people they're milquetoast garbage. That's what they all are. And I'm going to say this: white men are feeble, pathetic cowards. We all are. We just all are. The Orange Messiah, Donald Trump, wrote on Truth Social, and I quote, we must all pray for Charlie Kirk, who has been shot. A great guy from top to bottom. God bless him, in big, bold letters. Yeah, God bless him. He wasn't so, Charlie wasn't so sympathetic to all those Gazian Palestinians that were getting shot and killed and bombed in Gaza. I don't know if I'm going to, I'm kind of, I hate to say this when the guy's, I don't think he's going to survive that. But, It's easy to talk about other people getting their heads blown off when you're in a safe little studio. He didn't show any sympathy for those Palestinians. And he's always very cuckery about Israel. There you go. I'm telling you, I know this sounds macabre. If that guy that shot him, and I'm looking for the picture of a date because I do have him arrested. He's an older white guy, but if he happens to be a Jew, that would be unbelievable. J.D. Vance, the vice president, another twit. He tweeted, and I quote, "Say a prayer for Charlie Kirk." Oh, these guys all say the same shit. Is anybody original? Can anybody just be original and dangerous for once? Hey, we got to stop this shit. We're going to war. We have terrorists in our country. We're going to get them, kill them, and just eliminate them from our society. Can somebody say that? I'm not even going to read what that lummox said. FBI Director Kash Patel, the Indian, said the FBI is closely monitoring the reports of the tragic shooting involving Charlie Kirk. Agents will be on the scene quickly, and the FBI stands in full support of the ongoing response and investigation. The shooting was quickly condemned by California Governor Gavin Newsom, who said the attack on Charlie Kirk was, quote, disgusting, vile, and reprehensible. In the United States of America, we must reject political violence in every form. This is coming from a guy who lives in one of the most disgusting states and the sickest state in America. New York is number 2, closely number 2. Shortly before the shots rang out, Kirk had tweeted in bold letters now, and I quote, "We, period, are, period, so, period, back, period. Utah Valley University is fired up." Bad choice of words, Charlie. "And ready for the first stop back on the American Comeback Tour." Now, I want to show you what this guy, Van Jones, had said literally maybe an hour before this happened. Let's see if this works. Bad timing, man. I mean, that's crazy that he mentions Charlie Kirk right as this happened. Now, I'm gonna try to look to see if they have a picture of the suspect. Oh, there we go. All right, so let's see. He looks like an older white guy. Let's see. Bear with me for one moment. Oops. So that's what he looks like. That's the alleged suspect now, and well, we just wait for news on old Charlie now. We're going to see what's going on with that. But again, this is terrible, terrible, terrible news. The guy he's a young guy, he has young children, and I don't agree with him at all on a lot of things. But you definitely don't want to see this. And what happened to him just looks very, very bad for him. All right, well, there's my 2 cents. Thank you again for watching on this crazy update, on this breaking news. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Be careful out there, my friends. As you can see, Satan never sleeps. He is always, 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 always busy. But we must not be deterred. We must be a man. We must have a backbone, because masculinity and common sense is worth standing up for, not just for us, but for our children. And remember, if it ends in an ism, it's a mental disorder. We'll see you later.